Sagittarius, what's going on with you guys? Put that right there, cover up that Game Boy. Wait, look, I'm going to show you guys this. What? She has a Game Boy, my friend. Anyway, let me put that back. That's probably why it ain't been played. She's also a Gemini, which is opposite you. Isn't that funny? Right there. Okay, so I'm going to use the Badass Bitches Tarot for you for September. Sorry that it's taken me a while to get these to you. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but you know, this full moon is actually in my 6th house, so it makes quite a lot of sense. Sag Sun, my father's a Sag Sun, and my Sag father has a son, and that is me. He has others too. So let me go ahead and start shuffling this deck. As I said, I'm using the Badass Bitches Tarot by Cardi B. What's been going on with you guys, Sag? Are you feeling the Jupiter direct? Are you starting to see some things go in the direction that you wanted them to go? And maybe if you were neglecting some things, maybe it's not going in the direction you wanted to go. But I would say something here as well. You know, Pluto and Saturn are going to start to get in that phase where they're going to be going stationary direct, right? So those are going to start moving forward. And then, you know, all of the work that you've been doing to sort of help yourself get past some of the old versions of you or yourself, you know, those old versions of ourselves, those past, you know, lives that we've lived within this one already. You know, it's really just testing you to see if you're ready to go the extra mile, right? Because Jupiter being in your 1st house, being Sag risings if you are one, and then Pluto and Saturn being in your 2nd house of earned income, you know, and what you have, right? Also your belief systems. You know, things are growing, your commitments and things like that. Look at this. The Fool, right? This is pre-shuffle energy. The Fool. This is Uranus, right? This is excitement. This is definitely radical change, but it's change that's going to bring about a new beginning for you, or it's one that's going to bring you. I am not 100% yet. Nice to see you are still doing readings. I am, you know what I mean? I don't know if people really pay attention because sometimes you know, I mean, when for the readings for July and August were combined, right? So I did 2 readings. There was one for July and one for August. What, they might have been in the same video for that sign, or they might have been in 2 separate videos. Then there might have been like one sign that didn't get their 2nd reading, you know what I mean? And there was Aries because I flubbed something and I did that before. Anyway, but everybody got a reading for July and August, I believe, and here's September, you know? They really are there. Anyway, this is Uranus. This is definitely excitement for change, right? This is a new beginning. This is kind of like being open and definitely optimistic, right? It's kind of like pleasantly surprised too, and this is kind of like not having any worries about something, you know, or if something was worrying you, you're not worried about it anymore because everything has sort of like been resolved to a sense, you know. And this is the higher mind as well. You're kind of like letting go of some of the things that you probably felt like were holding you back. You know, sometimes our past holds us back, and this is someone that's putting their past behind them. So Sagittarius, I definitely feel you put your past behind you. And you know something else? Sagittarius is a sign that definitely knows how to put the past behind them, right? Because if you're looking for something that is going to be better, it is evolution, it's revolution for the evolution, you know what I mean? So that basically is probably what's going to be the title of this reading. And then the other card that came out is the Hermit. And we're dealing with Virgo energy right now. Hermit is talking about definitely going in. This is a 9. This is related to you know what I mean? This is, you know, the 9th house is Sagittarius. And the 9th house is talking about going inward and discovering some aspects about yourself that can only be revealed through connecting to that spiritual part of who you are, you know, the depths of who you are. It's related to the moon as well. So it's related, it's like I said, evolution, right? You know, evolution and revolution. It's kind of like the moon definitely evolves and it revolves around the earth, and the earth revolves around the sun, you know, like all of the other planets. So this is definitely talking about this full moon energy and that which opposes, you know, Pisces, and that Neptune conjunct the moon in Pisces, which is squaring Jupiter in Sagittarius, which was squaring also all of the planets that were in Virgo. You know, so you might have been just dealing with some difficulties in a lot of different areas. One area that probably wouldn't have been so, you know, confusing for you was probably communication. You're probably able to communicate quite well, but it's not like sometimes our communication doesn't necessarily get what we actually want to happen. Or sometimes communication happens and then there's like a waiting period. You know what I mean? So this could even denote to like a waiting period, right? You may have felt like some things were slowing down. Hi, yes, of course, of course, of course. No, I'm just saying that, you know, for those readings that I did readings for July and August. I just combined them in some of the videos. I don't know, but I kind of like the fact that people are like, "Oh my gosh, you're here," and I never really went anywhere. Yeah, so the Hermit is definitely talking about being a little bit more critical, detailed planning, looking at things, right? Looking at the details of a situation. Where do you fit into a situation? Where do you fit into a scenario? You know, you might be trying to figure out how you can get some things done. You know, it is talking also about planning, you know. Um, yeah, that's what I'm getting. You're trying to discover some things about yourself. You might have even been a little bit stressed about planning or doing work or doing or handling your responsibilities, you know, or paying bills or things like that. There might have been some surprises that came up in terms of bills. I'm going to reshuffle again. There might have been some surprises that came up in terms of bills, in terms of work. You know what I mean? And that Fool energy really does talk about, you know, letting go, right, of some things that kind of like just don't really serve any purpose in your life, right? So that you can move closer towards the things that actually do. You know, sometimes our thoughts hold us back, right? Uranus is the higher octane of Mercury, and Mercury is talking about the mind, but what about the higher mind? You know, the higher mind wants you to do something as well. It wants you to discover those things about yourself that you may have felt were flawed, but might actually be special. You know what I mean? And that's going to actually help you get to those places that you wanted to go, you know, just by going in and dealing with all of those, you know, those practical things. Because if you can make those improvements for you, right, it's like no one else is going to be able to make is going to be able to meet those goals but you. Anyway, in terms of your inner spirit and the depth of your spirit and how you sort of like navigate through your life based on that. Okay, so let me go ahead and flip over the rest of the cards, Sag. Not flip them over, but lay them out. Okay. So the card that's at the bottom of the deck is the Two of Wands. Sorry. My God. The card that's at the bottom of the deck is the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is talking about, you know, this is Mars in Aries, okay? So this is saying that you're putting a lot of energy into yourself, right? You might even be having plans to get a lot of things done, right? You might even be asking for someone's help, or there might be somebody that's willing to help you get some things done. You know, this is also kind of like cause and effect, right? These are two people acting together, or this could be you reacting to someone else's actions, right? Maybe you're planning to take a trip with someone, or maybe you're planning to go somewhere with someone as well, because this could definitely be talking about traveling, right? Getting from one place to another, right? This is what the Two of Wands looks like here. Yes. It's also perspective, and it's also looking at how you fit into the big picture somewhere. You know what I mean? In terms of something. This could be business planning, right? With someone else. This could be partnering up with someone for business, right? Because it's a two, so it's related to the second house of earned income. Okay? And this could be for your own security. Or you could be trying to secure, you know, a room or an environment, or planning a trip, and you might be trying to find like the best housing situation. I don't know where that's coming from for some of you guys. that are actually going on a trip. And this is also talking about being sensitive to someone else's actions that probably affect you. You know what I mean? This could be somebody acting alone when they should have actually asked you for your opinion, right? Because it's a two, so it's related to the throat, like Taurus is the second house. But then it's like Mars and Aries. Okay, so it's talking about the self and doing something, planning something, right? But then it's talking about somebody else also being sensitive to that person's actions, right? Or or having to consider the action of someone else or the needs of someone else as well, because the twos do talk about needs, right? And things were being revealed, and there are some hidden things too. Somebody could have planned to do something and they didn't tell you, or someone did something and they didn't tell you about it. You know what I mean? Or someone went ahead and like took it upon themselves to, you know, they may have kept it from you in some kind of way, what they were doing or what they were planning on doing, that type of thing. Anyway, this definitely has to do with also dominating a situation. Somebody probably had to feel like they were getting the upper hand in a situation with some of you guys. You know, this is a general reading, so I'm just kind of like going on with my what comes in for me here. Once I start flipping all over the other cards, then I can't talk right now. Once I start flipping over all of the other cards, then we'll have a clearer picture. Thanks for watching, by the way. Okay, so in the center of the reading, this is the card that Libra got for the week, actually, Sagittarius. It's another two. Okay, so these are actions in terms of business. This is a collaboration in terms of business. But then this is also talking about growth. So you could be seeing a partnership grow with someone. You could be seeing a business grow. Or you could be just seeing some things grow that, you know, some things develop through your own action, right? I'm saying this because, you know, sometimes there are some things that we would like to see happen, or we would like ourselves to do that we haven't gotten a chance to do, or because we were feeling sensitive to them, or because we felt like they were going to reveal something to us that we didn't like or didn't want to have to deal with. We were going to try to stay secure within our denial, because the twos do talk about a level of denial as well, right? Or a delusion, because the twos are related to Pisces, and Pisces definitely likes that idea of escaping from reality through, you know, just kind of ignoring things. And Taurus being the second house of commitment, you're willing to ignore things in order to feel secure within something, right? Or feel like something is committed to you, or you're willing to commit yourself to something out of a need for security. Okay, so this could be you guys wanting, you guys being you know, committing to something, right, business wise, that is actually going to be more lucrative for you. Maybe that's actually going to suit you better. You know what I mean? You might be sacrificing some parts of yourself in order to make this happen, and this could just be like some ideas, you know what I mean? Or it could be like you know, where you fit into the big picture of this business deal, or into this, you know, saving money, you know what I mean? It's kind of like actively trying to do more to build more, you know what I mean? That type of thing as well. You know, also I'm getting not being selfish, you know what I mean? Not letting your ego get the best of you anymore. And when I talk about letting your ego get the best of you, that's kind of like, oh, it's hard for me to even say that, because I'm like, when I go out and I buy things, or when I go out and I do stuff for myself, it's because it's a healthy ego. So maybe this is a healthy ego, right? So the healthy ego knows how to feed itself in ways that other people, it doesn't actually necessarily need other people to do. You know what I mean? So, I feel like you're practicing that, and that's what I mean by making these bold plans. It's just kind of like you're changing some things. So you're implementing some new structures as well, with this two being here, and just the way that you're doing things, right? And also with this Two of Pentacles being here in the center of the reading, this is talking about money as well, and finances and work, and it's also talking about your body. So you're seeing some changes occur, right? You're seeing some changes occur in terms of like people and the friends that you also have, that you keep around regularly now, right? That type of thing. And you're also dealing with money, and spending your money in different ways. You might be having a better relationship with your money, right? Because sometimes we don't have a great relationship with our money when we feel like things aren't going well for us, like bills, or if we don't have enough money to pay our bills, or we feel like we need a raise. You know, some of you guys might even feel like you need a raise with your job, you know, if you don't work for yourself. You know, this is also the Two of Pentacles is talking about growth in a project that you've been doing, seeing something get from one phase to another phase. You know, this is the second phase of something, the second phase of the planning, the second phase of the structure. And this is also being committed to, right? Because the twos are talking about committed. You might be committing your time to something that you would like to see grow and develop into something more. And I feel like, you know, you are really considering that. This is definitely putting some time and some energy into something so that you can see it grow into something more, right? Developments, things getting from one stage to another, right? The twos also are talking about, you know, intuition. Maybe you feel like this was something that you wanted to do back when or way before, or, you know, maybe you've always dreamt of this, because the twos are really talking about things that you probably want or need, you know, and some things that you need to satisfy as well, right? So it's talking about self-satisfaction, but then it's also talking about career satisfaction, right? So this aspect of career satisfaction is going to also be sorry, feed into the self. Oh, 1 second. Oh my god, I'm sorry, you guys. I had to get a tissue. Okay, so it's probably going to help feed into the self, you know what I mean? Because this is Capricorn. The Two of Pentacles is Capricorn, and this is talking about the self, you know, self-expansion and self-growth, right? So whatever it is, this endeavor, whatever it is that these goals that you would like to see yourself achieve, or these things that you would like to see yourself improve, right? Because that Virgo did come up in the pre-shuffle, and the Uranus did come up in the pre-shuffle through the Fool. So this is talking about things that you probably, you know, may have been surprised with, or maybe things that just came up, or maybe some things that you just kind of like one day decided that you would allow yourself to go with the flow with, and now you're starting to see some things change in positive ways, right? And you know, it really is talking about self-growth and growth and expansion for sure. And I'm loving the fact that there are two twos here, right? Which that's related to Pisces, right? And Neptune is there. And then we had the Virgo card come up, which is ninth house Sagittarius. That's your energy. And then we have this here, you know, the Two of Wands come up with the World here. I think these are the blondes, right? Follow them on Instagram if you guys don't know the blondes, okay? Also, yeah, definitely. Self-expansion, you know, in terms of career as well. We're seeing your career grow. Okay, for sure. All right, work. I said expansion, right? Growth, career, and the challenge or the immediate influence, which this is a positive. The Wheel of Fortune, your card, right? Here we go. This is growth. This is expansion. This is the acknowledgement that you could have some of the things that you always have wanted. Because it is talking about, you know, wanting something, you know, and going for it, right? So you could be going for some things now. You're not feeling necessarily held back, right? You know, and that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you sacrifice your fears, right? You sacrifice your fears in terms of like getting towards, you know, uh, doing things courageous. You sacrifice your fears so that you can do things that are courageous. You know what I mean? Because you have to let go of those things. And that's the challenge. You know, the challenge is, you know, this is definitely risk, optimism, right? Faith, hope, belief, just as you know, the Fool is, right? Kind of, in a way, right? I definitely believe that. Some of you guys could be feeling like you definitely have more energy. You know what I mean? Now that your ruling planet is no longer retrograde. Um, you know, this is a lot of Pisces energy right here in this reading. You know, you might be dealing with the Pisces. You might be seeing something move forward with the Pisces, or you guys might be seeing something move forward with the Taurus, right? Or you might just be seeing something, you know, yeah. I don't know, something with like feet. Maybe your feet are improving. If some of you guys were experiencing some sort of like foot injury or something like that, maybe it's moving forward, and maybe your foot injury is getting better. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and flip over the rest of these cards. I might have to even change the angle because the cord to charge the phone is over here. So anyway, let's look at your sun position, Sagittarius. This is such a crazy reading because I'm doing it like from a different place. Okay, so your focus is on the Eight of Pentacles, right? So this is actually Sun and Virgo. This is where we are right now. So this energy does square you, and you know, all of those planets that are there right now. I think Mercury and Venus are in Libra right now, so Mars must still be in Virgo. But this this being Sun and Virgo is saying that you're putting some energy into organization and putting some time and focus into, putting things where they need to be. You know what I mean? That's what the Eight of Pentacles is talking about. And it's talking about a need to see order, right? And it's an expression of order, right? Through action, right? Through thoughts turning into action. It's processing things, right? So you could be an observer, you could be donating some clothes. Some of you guys could have been thinking of donating some things. Because it's funny, before I started doing this reading, I was like, why am I thinking of donating clothes and stuff? It was so weird. And it was like, well, it was not weird because, like, hello, why not donate clothes? I need to purge, right? And it's also giving back to other people. And I was thinking of that, and then I was like, oh my gosh, getting other people to do it too. You know what I mean? So I think that you might be trying to put some energy and focus into a good cause, right? Because that's what the Eight of Pentacles also is talking about. And it's also talking about work, right? Work is service, but then, like, philanthropy and doing things, out of the kindness of your heart, right, for the benefit of others to see themselves grow. That's also, work and being of service, right? So you definitely are trying to do some things like that. You feel like this is kind of like it makes you feel empowered when you're able to bring order to other people's lives, or you're able to help other people, or you're able to help other people figure some things out. And you're really good about doing that because you're very communicative about what it is that you should do, and a lot of the mutable signs are like that. They really are very good at what you should do, because it's like if you feel like you have a need that's not being satisfied, they definitely know how to sort of like get it in your mind and get it in your head of how you can kind of like get to doing that thing, because they really are talking about trying to finish things. Okay, so they definitely can help you try to finish things. Or you might be trying to help someone finish something or feel more complete or feel more in order, right? Or feel more secure within who they are, right? And you understand that this means a lot of different things. This is kind of like with your job, with how you're doing with your body, with how you're doing with your mental health, and how you're doing with your food, right? So this is talking about food as well, donating food. I don't know why I'm thinking of that, but there's some sense of like wanting to do something good, right, for the better of some other people. And I feel like some of you want to put some time and energy into that. Okay? Or there's just a lot of planning with like where you're trying to go or what you want to do. In your moon position, okay, there's something that's coming in that's interfering with your thought process, okay? And it's making you feel less, it's almost kind of like, it's like externally you've got it together, but internally it's almost like you don't. It's really weird because like this is what's in your sun position. Like I have it all together, and it's an 8. Okay, so it's talking about your mind and your power, your thought process, and then I said thoughts into action. Right here we go with the 8 of Swords in your sun in your moon position. So these are definitely direct opposites of each other. It's actually, well, not necessarily, but it's Gemini and it's Virgo. So it's both of the signs that are ruled by Mercury, but it's both of the 8s. And we know that the 8s are related to the Strength card, which is talking about, not using too much energy and too much force to do something, not injecting too much of your ego into a situation to make it happen. You know what I mean? And this 8 of Swords is definitely talking about the ego. You know what I mean? And the ego might be feeling a little bit intimidated right now by your own thought process, okay? But really that's internal. And what's coming on the outside is that everything's perfect. So you might be putting up this like front perhaps, or you just might be acting in the impulse is to act as though, right, things are going fine and you can do everything that it is that you need to do, right? Because this is in the sun position. Things are fine. Look, everything's going well. Look at how I put all of these things together and they look so great on here. And then actually inside, right, this is what's happening. Oh my God. You're afraid to kind of like speak your mind about something, right? So you could be acting as though everything's okay. Like I keep saying that, but it's almost like everything that you are doing is kind of like indicating that things are fine. But really in your moon place, things are kind of not. And it has to do with kind of like you, but it then also could do with the interference of other people. So other people could be like affecting your thought process in terms of other people, or they could be affecting your thought process in terms of like you. So it's kind of like other people actually might be actively interfering, because the eighth house is the house of kind of like control and obsession. So it's like somebody might be obsessed with what you are thinking right now and what you feel about them, or what, you know what I mean. Or it could be like somebody could be questioning how you feel about them, or you could be questioning how somebody really actually does feel about you. But it's almost like you're not expressing that you are questioning that, because that's hidden, and on the outside it's almost like everything is fine. I don't know why that's coming up like that. The eights are also talking about having the strength and the courage to communicate your mind. You know what I mean? And it's also like the eighth. This eight here in the moon position. This is talking about some guys, some of you's feelings being hurt on social media, or this is like because with this is Jupiter in Gemini, and this is like spending too much time on social media, and it's starting to affect your emotional process. You know what I mean? Right? Or you could be holding back on your impulse to sort of like act or communicate on social media. So some of you guys could be stepping back on social media a little bit more and only putting out what matters, you know what I mean? What matters. Or some of you could be stepping back from your social groups and only doing the things that actually matter. You know what I mean? Like birthdays and stuff like that. You're not like going out with so and so to go to her cousin's barbecue if you don't know them. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Let's look at your past position. Okay, in the past position, we're dealing with creativity. Okay, this is the moon in Cancer. So in the past, you may have felt a little bit emotionally complacent in terms of your creativity and what you were able to prove to yourself, right? And this is also it might be wanting to prove things to other people, but this is also your emotional reaction and your emotional response, right? So this past position almost seems like it wants to be related to your moon position, and I don't know why, but it's just because it's kind of like that interference, it is an 8, and the 8s are related to the 8th house, like I said, and that's kind of like Scorpio energy, so that's water. But then this is a water card because it's the 4 of Cups, which is moon and Cancer, and the moon is talking about evolution, and it's talking about hidden things. Let me change the angle of the camera, you guys. I'm sorry, because I have to charge it, and I don't want this camera to die on me while I'm doing this reading. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so yeah, the moon is talking about hidden issues, and the cups are talking about hidden things in your emotional process. You know what I mean? So this cup right here, this card right here, this is just, saying that you might be feeling emotionally complacent and you're not doing the things that you feel that would actually help you feel better. This is kind of like music, you know what I mean? This is like it's art, it's creativity, it's food, it's friends, you know what I mean? This could have to do with a friend, right? Because for some reason, this talks about emotional security, and sometimes your friends definitely help you with your emotional security. So this could be with a friend or something. It's so weird. Also, the fours have to do with being intimidated by your own emotions, right? So it's kind of like it's affecting your ability to get out there and do something. But this was in the past position, okay? This is in the past position of you being emotionally affected by, by things, right? Things that you felt like weren't there, weren't in order. Things that you probably wanted that you weren't getting. Things that you wanted and probably needed that you weren't getting in the past. But now I see things that are moving forward, but there's still some aspect of your inner you, right? Your inner spirit, right? The soul, the heart of you, right? Because it does have to do with the gut. It does have to do with the moon position. That's what I'm talking about. It does have to do with like that type of thing. Yes. You know, the fours are definitely completion, right? So in the past you probably felt like you were staring something in the face, right? You were met with something that actually completed you, that made you feel emotionally satisfied to some sort of like emotional contentment. Okay, so it does also have to do with emotional contentment in the past, right? You know. um yes, let's look at your moon position, your anxieties here. Okay, in your anxiety's position, you have the Three of Wands. Okay, so this is actually Sun in Aries. Okay, so your anxieties are on doing what you want, right? You know, the three, and it's a three, right? So I was talking about needing and wanting. So there's something that's actually being created for you. There's something that's actually meant for you. Okay, so you don't have anxieties in terms of like things that you know were meant for you, right? Because the threes do have to do with the Empress, and that's kind of like intuitively, you know, that being tapped in. That's sort of like unknowing, you know, and it's an understanding, and it's a thought process. It's a conception, right? It's a conception of the mind that has actually turned into action, right? So don't have anxieties that you can't do these things that you want to do or prove something, because there's something that you feel like there's something that you want to do, right? And there's something that you feel like would complete you and make you feel so much better about all of the things that, you know, or what about yourself, pretty much. And you could be worried that it may not, that other people may not think that you can do those things, or you know, because it does, these eights have to do with proving something to yourself, you know, pushing past that, your fears, pushing past whatever it is that you felt like may have not been other people's you know, idea of who they thought you were. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Because it's saying, this is saying that there's an opportunity here, because the threes are talking about opportunities as well. Don't have anxieties about opportunities that come along that are meant for you to tap into them, right? Like it's a maple tree, so that you can extract some part of your creativity that you may have not been able to exercise yet. It doesn't matter if other people have seen that part of you, you know what I mean? Because like now is their time for them to see it. See what I'm getting? See what I'm saying? Such a weird lighting. Um. Anyway, so yeah, you know, don't have anxieties about that, about things coming. You know, you're having anxieties that something's not going to turn out the way that you wanted it to turn out. You know what I mean? And you're just getting in your own way. You're getting in your own mind. You're getting in your own head. You know, these are, hi, Tahira. This card is saying, you know, your thoughts are going to hold you back, right? Fear is what holds you back. You know what I mean? Think of all of the things that you have been afraid to do that you never got to do because you let fear hold you back, right? That's sad. Why would we let fear stop us from doing things that would make us feel good about ourselves? Because fear actually doesn't feel good. It feels good to push past fear. So you have to push past this fear in your head. You know what I mean? You know, about whatever it is that people might be saying, you know what I mean, or thinking, you know, because it's saying that whatever it is that you are doing, whatever it is that you are purposely putting energy and time into, you know what I mean, it's going to turn out the way that you want it to, you know what I mean, because you can't create, and I said that at 33:33. Okay, and I was not looking at the clock. So it's going to turn out the way that you want it to turn out. You know what I mean? Don't worry about whatever it is that you think that other people might be thinking that they're not telling you. We all do that. Okay, so now let's look at your Mars position, Sag. Justice, balance. See? You know what I mean? This is just justice, justification, right? Okay. And this is Ruth Bader Ginsburg, okay, RBG. And this is 11. And this is talking about perspective, and this is being fair to yourself, right? And this is, taking actions to balance things out. So you might be trying to balance some things out, right, through actions, or you might be trying to balance some things out in your head, right? Because this is also talking about, reacting to things, right? It's also talking about give and take, right? The Justice card is talking about, one-on-one connections. You might be even trying to initiate, right? You might prompt a one-on-one connection with someone. It could even have to do with business, right? And contracts, yeah? So are you going to sign a contract? Are you going to sign on to a new something, a new beginning? This could also just talk about Libra season, you know what I mean? So it might be saying that the right time to do something might be in Libra season for some of you guys that are thinking about doing something. Um, you know, a Mars position, or the Justice card could even be talking about an actual Libra that you guys might be dealing with in terms of maybe their opinion, or maybe even partnering up with a Libra in terms of doing something like that. You know what I mean? It even could be like an Aquarius or even a Gemini for sure, because the Justice card is an 11. And that 11 looks like, the 11th house. And it could also be that Gemini symbol. You know what I mean? The two twins. So you definitely are making a decision, right? So it being in the Mars position saying that you're making a decision for in terms of something, right? And you're justifying the decision that you're making, right? Like I said, it doesn't matter what other people are thinking. That's what we talked about. Sorry. Um, yeah, it's definitely making a choice and making a decision and being very definitive in making this decision, right? Okay. All right, so in the Venus position, you have the Five of Pentacles, okay? So you could be feeling like, right, like this is definitely be feeling left out in the cold in terms of a relationship, but then it's a five, so it's the ego. So your ego might be damaged in terms of somebody that you felt like you probably were going to be in a relationship with, or maybe you guys were, starting to show more interest in each other, and then it just kind of like went went cold, perhaps. The Five of Pentacles do talk about difficulties with finances or difficulties with money. Now, I'm going to go in a bunch of different places with this card. Some of you could be, dating somebody that makes less money than you, and that's an issue, you know what I mean? Or some of you guys could have felt like you committed yourself to something that didn't work out financially, right? Your job could be getting in the way of your relationship for some of you guys. You might be feeling isolated because of work, some of you. This five does talk about the Hierophant as well, which is talking about belief systems and formats that we adhere to. You know what I mean? So, some of you guys could be in a relationship, or you could be like dating somebody that, you're sort of like adhering to some patterns or some behaviors, right? That someone might be, some habits that somebody might be, dealing with, right? Or you might be looking at someone's habits within a relationship, right? You're getting a closer look at these things, okay? Uh, somebody may have even ditched you, you know what I mean? Because this Five of Pentacles does talk about a date being canceled, or it might even be talking about, being, what do they say? What is it called? Not being ditched or stood up. Okay, so this talks about, also the Five of Pentacles talks about being stood up by someone. You know what I mean? So some of you guys could be dealing with being stood up by someone, or you may have actually yourself stood someone up. That type of thing. And this is just thinking about, the difficulties and the things that you feel like you want to improve, that you can improve. Or this could also be just talking about things not changing the ways that they are, that you feel like they need to, right? This is definitely wanting an improvement, because the Venus position talks about pleasures, right? And this is saying like I want, because it's a five, and that's related to the fifth house, which is Leo, and Leo wants something. I need something, right? I'm bringing focus to something. This is the ego, but this is the ego being affected, right? Because it's affected by its environment, and the ego is being affected by the environment. Therefore, the mind is going to a place of insecurity and not not feeling like things are ever going to get better, or not feeling like things can work out with this person, or can work out in this place, or can work out in this way. And this could even just be difficulties in the way that two people do things. Or this could even be like, some of you might even be feeling like you don't like your neighborhood anymore, or you don't like your building anymore, or some of you guys might be even having issues with your neighbor. You know what I mean? That's what this type of card is talking about, the Five of Pentacles. You know what I mean? This is also maybe like in the family, right? Maybe there's someone in the family that is actually not doing so well with the majority of the people in the family scenario, because it's their ego that's getting in the way, you know what I mean, of things actually being able to work, you know? That's what the fives are talking about, that type of thing. So you can go on and on all about cards, you know what I mean? I'm just giving y'all everything today. So yeah, this could be some of you guys wanting to quit a job too, and some of you guys could have let a relationship or a little flirtation at work sort of like get in the way, you know, and not get in the way, but it was like you allowed something to probably go too far, and you know, it started to affect the relationship, or is your relationship started to affect work, right? So that's what this card is as well. Things that affect how you relate to an experience. But this is something that had to happen in order for you to grow, because the fives are challenges that we face, right? That actually give us purpose and give us meaning. Because the fives are really talking about, you know, the Hierophant, that's talking about higher purpose and meaning, right? What's the meaning of life? The Hierophant. And then it's also talking about the self, right? How would you even know, how would you even know or want to be inspired to know the meaning of life if you weren't here to live it, right? If you weren't here to face those challenges, you know what I mean? So the fives, I think, are great cards because they allow you to see those areas of life that you didn't want to get any challenges. You know, if we don't feel like we have any challenges, then we're not going to feel like we're getting anywhere. Climbing the stairs. Okay, if we can't climb the stairs, how are we going to get from point A to point B? Here's a challenge. We experience them all the time. So when you experience a life challenge that's making you feel like, whoa, like, why am I having this experience and why it's so difficult right now? Then it's just because, you know, life is getting you to a new phase. It's trying to help you grow. You didn't get any pages here. You don't have any aces, but you definitely have the Wheel of Fortune as your immediate influence, okay? And you have 2 twos, which is talking about growth as well. And this Three of Wands is definitely talking about growth because it's related to the Empress, right? And that's that gestation period of growth before something comes out and is given birth to, right? And is birthed, is created, right? You know, so you don't have anxieties with coming out with something that is a part of your creative process or your creative self, right? So now we're going to look at your future cards. And the future card that I have here for the outcome and the energy moving forward is the Two of Swords, another two, right? So this is talking about making a choice, right? Decisions. And this is the new moon in Libra that's coming up at the end of the month. So there's a decision that's going to be made by the time that the new moon in Libra actually happens for you. This could even also be like something being revealed through communication, right? Somebody might reveal something to you, or you might reveal something to someone else through communication that is going to get things from one place to another, you know, because this is the moon in Libra. So this is also talking about, you know, the growth of relationships or the growth of a friendship perhaps, right? Or this could be just kind of like the growth of an understanding within a relationship or within a commitment, okay? I'm getting tightrope as well. So maybe you guys felt like you were probably walking the tightrope with somebody, and this communication sort of clears things up, you know what I mean? And this is the moon being there in that Libra feeling. So this is kind of like the moon is a little bit confusing sometimes. It likes to hide things, you know what I mean? It likes to kind of like we only get to see so much of it at any given time, you know what I mean? And then it's definitely sensitive. So this could be talking about some emotional sensitivities to something that someone said or something that you might be considering saying, or it could be some sensitivities to something that you know, you might want to say to someone that made you feel some kind of way. Or this could be saying that you know that you're going to affect someone emotionally once you bring these things up that you're you're going to say to them, or it could be just things that are changing that you need to communicate, that you need to share, because this is the moon, which is a very receptive planet, being in one of the most receptive signs, that is Libra. You know what I mean? So this is kind of like you are very sensitive to what it is that you are thinking about right now. Okay, and this is like the first week of Libra, so this is like the 23rd to like the 30th, right? Or the 23rd to like the 31st or something like that. So, this could be a decision that's going to be made, and this is also growth, right, in your mind, in your head. So this communicating might actually get you from one point to another with this person or with yourself. Just making the decision about something. Okay. There you go. You got an ace. So the Ace of Pentacles is in the future position. So this is a new beginning, financially, or within something that's going to help you finalize something, or not finalize something, but get something from. It's like planting the seed for a new beginning that is actually going to grow something more, right? And this is good because it's almost like you already know that this is something that you need to do, because you got the Two of Pentacles in your present position, but you have the Ace of Pentacles in the future. And the twos are related to the High Priestess and kind of like knowing something, right? Feeling like something is right, or feeling like you should do something, or feeling like something might be a good business decision for you, okay? And the future is saying that, yes, it is. That's what that Ace of Pentacles is saying right there. You know what I mean? Planted. Right? So that's good. All right, Ten of Pentacles at the very top. There we go. So we are talking about beginning to end. We are talking about completion. In your future position, two of them, you got the Ace of Pentacles and you got the Ten of Pentacles. That's talking about evolution. That's talking about growth. That's talking about an opportunity for a new beginning. That's talking about acknowledging, something positive that is going to be, proving to yourself, right, that something is worthwhile, right? So something is proving to you that it is worthwhile, okay, with this Ten of Pentacles, and that's related to the 10th house of career, right, and building things, right? um it's money. So this is going to be definitely financial improvements, and definitely wealth, something coming from this. This might be a business decision that you're trying to make, like I said. Because the Justice card came up here, that's talking about contracts and agreements. You know what I mean? It's talking about also doing something that you feel, that you think, that you almost know is going to be good for you. This is experiencing the pleasure of something before it actually happens. This is kind of like the hope and the inspiration, right? Because Libra is definitely an inspired, right? So you've been inspired because of this judge right here. She's been inspired to make a decision, okay? So you've definitely been inspired to make a decision. And then you have the two of Swords here as well. You know what I mean? Which is Moon and Libra. So there's definitely something going on with Libra season. You're definitely, things are kind of a little bit shaky maybe right now, but they will definitely start to solidify themselves a little bit more. You have some pentacles here, so there's a lot of work and a lot of, finances and time being considered, right? It may be people, people and things, not necessarily places, but places too, because you got the Wheel of Fortune here. So the Wheel of Fortune is directly connected to this Ten of Pentacles, right? So there's some travel going on for some of you. There's some growth in travel, right? So this travel could be saying that that's the new beginning. Some of you might be traveling for a move, and that's what your new beginning is, because this Four of Cups in the past position is talking about foundation, and it is talking about home and security, right, and family. Some of you guys could be thinking about moving back with family. Some of you guys might be going on a family vacation, or just going to visit family for a vacation, to visit family, that type of thing. Right, so definitely taking your power back mentally, right? Because work is good. You're showing that you're powerful in your work and your career. But mentally, sometimes you question your own growth, or if you maybe deserve something, you know what I mean, or if you have the right to do what it is, not the right, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like, you know, you're getting in your own way by questioning whether or not you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, or whether you can do it, or whether or not you're good for it, something like that. Because there's this eight is insecurity, this eight of swords is insecurity right here, you know what I'm talking about. um, anyway, but you're definitely making decisions and you're moving forward and you're growing, because the twos are talking about growth and seeing, progress. And you got some tens here that is talking about completion. And you got the ace of pentacles here that's talking about a new beginning that's coming your way. Okay, the anxiety's position definitely has the three of wands here, but even though it's the anxiety's position, saying that something is definitely coming in for you, an opportunity, right? Alright, Sag, Jupiter is direct, and this has been your reading for September. It's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, and I wasn't even sure if I was ready to do the reading. But I knew I had to get something out for you so that I can move forward. Um, Thank you guys. Follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot Kendrick, and I'm also NYC Kendrick there. Like, share, and subscribe for sure. I will leave some information in the description box if you'd like to donate to my channel, or if you would like to book a reading with me. If you'd like to book a reading with me, then you would email providencetarotKendrick@gmail.com. Okay? Yes. Goodbye, Sag.